Just left the emergency room. Went because I had some hip pain, joint pain in my hip, um, which may be scoriatic and stuff like that. It's not rheumatoid. They ruled that out, but I know I've been experiencing it for a long time, for a while, since 1990, and it could get pretty painful. I remember I used to have joint pain when I was a kid, and I didn't know what it was behind. It would be in my toes or my fingers. But I had the trait for sickle cell. So then they didn't think you would have any symptoms from the trait for sickle cell. You had to have full-blown sickle cell to have crises. And now they know that people with sickle cell, if they're in climates, high climates like Denver, and they exert themselves, they can do spleen damage and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure that when I was a kid, my fingers hurt and sometimes my big toe would hurt because I just had the trait. So doctors weren't as informed, as knowledgeable as they are possibly now. They still don't know that. They just found out that it's that football players with the trait for sickle cell anemia should not play in places with high altitudes like Denver, Colorado. So athletes sit out when they go to places like that. So in the ER, there was this black guy. His son was in the ER, and he was about 52, he said. And his son had been complaining of back pain and didn't want to go to the hospital, so he talked his son into going to the emergency room. So he was telling me that he didn't really like Lawrence County Hospital. It's part of the Greenville healthcare system. That he went there one time and they told him he was all right. And then he drove to Malden, close to Greenville, and they found out he had pneumonia in one lung. Doctors, for some reason, think they are gods, that they know everything and they are right. We know they make more mistakes and kill as many people as any narcotic, drug from the street, or pharmaceutical. They make misdiagnosis, just plain based on making bad diagnoses, even with all their fancy machines. And they make misdiagnosis and treatment based on race. They call it bias in the New England Journal of Medicine, but it's flat out racism. That's what it is. It's as hostile and systemic as what the Germans were trying to do to the Jews. In fact, they probably picked up some of the behavior from them. So I don't approach it that way. I try to talk to them about their bias, and they always say, "Well, we're giving sensitivity training now, so it's getting better." Bullshit. It's a lie. And see, not only are white people afflicted by it, our kids, our children that we send to medical school, go to medical school, and I've said this before, and they graduate and they come out with Stockholm syndrome. They have the same fucking biases against their own people as white people do. So this guy had enough sense to go to another hospital and realize that he had pneumonia. He could have died. Okay. So I said the other day, my aunt had an operation. They cut her arm, and she went back for more pain meds, and the doctor told her to get some over-the-counter stuff. My ex-wife's second husband had a blood clot. They had to reroute some veins, and they cut his leg open. I don't know how deep they went. He needed more pain medicine, and they want him to get something over-the-counter. I've already said before, there was an article that black children get less pain medication than white children when they're in the emergency room of the hospital. Now, if there's not a foundation of outright evil there, then you just can't see. So We have to stop expecting them to see. And when we tell them, it doesn't make a difference. Like I was telling this PA today, look, this is what it is. And I've been battling it since 1990, since I got my degree, my master's degree. So I talked about it in undergraduate and graduate school. I researched it. I lived it. I experienced it. I know it's there. I can see the elephant in the room if you don't see it. Okay. So I'm saying, you know, it is what it is. And it's not good. So when I went to the emergency room, there were like 4 people there. One older lady, white lady that was coming back for the second time, looked like she was in some pain. And this black guy that was waiting on his son. And then some white girl came in there, young white girl. A horse had fell on her. And she was walking, but her dad was with her. So I was there before her. So I understand that they see you in emergency rooms based on the severity of what's going on with you. You know, they're gonna, if you're dying, they're supposed to see you before they see anybody else. This black guy told me that he was there with his son one time, and his son was cut up and bleeding profusely, and they were there first, and some white people walked in, and they called them in first. That is the nature of the beast. If there is a mark of the beast, it's written in white skin. And people of color were put on this earth to try to save it. But for some reason, we haven't been able to do it. And we've been broken down systematically by white people. By Ronald Reagan and Ollie North bringing coke to Oakland, and it's spreading across the country. And people finding out if you cooked it and put baking powder in it, you could turn it into crack. And the powers that be putting guns into the black community, and gangs and black people being so programmed that we hate each other, we're so afraid of each other that we kill each other. And white people can count on that. Okay, they will help us kill them. We have so thoroughly programmed them that they will help us kill themselves. Not to mention that we have in place the systemic methods of killing them. We have the police. We can use that. We have the medical profession. We can use that to kill them. We have the legal system. We can lock them up for almost anything and send them to private prisons, for-profit prisons. So I saw on C-SPAN, this white guy got up and said that slavery did not end with the end of slavery in the Middle Passage, that it's going on. It's just changed shapes and forms. But see, we have even Michelle Alexander was a prosecutor, and she had some of the same ideas and crazy thoughts about black people getting in trouble and being locked up in the system as everyone else. And then something hit her, and she realized one day that the numbers were skewed,